Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Tilo Mad coming at you with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about GAC and my GAC. We're going to be talking about round 2 of the new season of 5v5. And this one was pretty good. I was pretty excited about this one. We actually go against our first opponent that had Star Killer. Unfortunately, he did not place it on defense. I think maybe round 3 we might see it though. So stay tuned for that one. But anyways, let's get on to this one. First things first, I'm going to show you guys the matchup and how it went. So first thing, you're going to see my opponent did get us in GP about a little bit over 1 million GP compared to us. We're sitting at 7.2 million GP, where he's sitting at 8.4 million GP. Other than that, he did have one more Omicron than me. He also, where we did get him, you're going to see that we did have a little bit better the Zetas than him, or not Zetas, but speed, but he did have us in G13s. You're also going to see down here that right on the edge, we're going to see the mods, the 6 dots. He does have me a little bit by 6 dots, but when it comes down to the main mod compare, I do have him in 25 speeds, 22 compared to his 10, and then 90 of the 20s compared to his 61, and a little bit more of the offensive stats as well. He does have me in relics by about, what is that, about 40 or so. So nothing too crazy. The only big difference about this account is he does have all 6 GLs. All right, and right here we're going to see that he does have 6 GLs compared to my 5 GLs, which is completely fine. We've been pretty comfortable fighting 6 GLs compared to our 5 for a little bit now. I'm getting a little more comfortable being the underdog in these fights and kind of leveraging my mods and my placement of characters on the board. So we've been doing pretty good on offense. Other than that, we got the mod advantage, so I'm feeling really comfortable. I'd rather have the mod advantage than the physical advantage. Right here is the defense that I ended up leaving for my opponent, the bottom wall. The only thing I really changed right here is I did set Maul instead of Aiden. And the reason I did that is because his Wampa, which was Omicron, was pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. He had some pretty good, decent speed. I mean, not decent speed, decent health. And he also had some decent tenacity as well, way more than my potency. So I was like, I'm not going to give him a free win. I'm going to let this man kind of struggle a little bit. Up here, up top, we did make some changes as well. We do not have the JTR squad up here. We ended up with a crew lead, which is a little bit different because last match we had SLKR on defense with Crew and Red Trooper, and I decided to pull those 2 off, create another team of First Order, and change our SLKR squad in the back. But before we see that, let's look at ships. I don't know if I showed this to you guys last time, but this is the game plan that I'm going with. If you guys haven't seen my video really talking about why I'm putting these particular ships down, going super heavy on defense, go check that out. My mindset is I'm going to make ships a non-factor. Even if he gets up there, it's going to be really difficult for him to get the full clear. And if he goes super light on defense, I'm going to be able to clear. If he goes heavy on defense, he's probably not clearing. I'm probably not clearing. And then let's take it to the ground. All right. So same thing as last match. The only thing I did change, like I said earlier, was SLKR. I decided to go in there with Phasma and Officer instead of Crew and Sith Trooper. And the reason for this is just to give SLKR more turns, try to get him to his ultimate a little bit quicker. And then at the same time, it's going to allow the initial blow to hit Jedi Knight Revan. And if Jedi Knight Revan doesn't die, oh, it's over. That counter is done. You need Jedi Knight Revan to die to get that turn and really just start up that counter. And in this case, he did take 4 GLs for offense. So I was like, if they're going to get through it, I might as well have another team and then take JTR for offense anyways. So I wasn't really worried about the one shot right there, which is most likely going to happen when you take 4 GLs on offense. All right. And then my opponent sent me a defense. So up top, you're going to see that he sent me Rey. He also sent me Qui-Gon. He sent me a BAM squad and a Newt squad. Nothing too crazy. The BAM squad is nice. And the Omicron Qui-Gon is nice as well. The Rey is Rey. Nothing crazy. Down below, he did set me a Sith Triumvirate, which was a little bit different. Haven't fought a Sith Triumvirate in a long time, so that was interesting. And then at the same time, he did set Lord Vader with Maul. So this was interesting. I was like, ooh, is my bounty hunters going to be able to do it? I game plan being able to use my bounty hunters on Lord Vader. And he threw a wrench into it. This is something that he really hasn't done in his previous history. So I was like, man, he probably saw my history that I used bounty hunters on Lord Vader. And he was like, nope, we ain't going to do it. And he threw it in his Maul. So I was like, is what it is. We're going to find out if they can do it or not. And then right there, that Kyle Katarn was pretty slow, so we ended up trying to use our Vader there. All right, so right here we go into our bounty hunter fight against Lord Vader. Everything's going pretty well. I'm a little cautious of Maul. We get our contract right here. I ended up saving the mass assist, and we go all in on Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper is just a beefy boy, but Mando does manage to kill the Royal Guard. I'm really trying to get Stormtrooper. One thing that could have went really good for us is you're going to see Maul goes and kills Bosk, and we all had Retribution. What would have been perfect is if with the Retribution we were able to kill Stormtrooper, but because he was just so tanky, he was able to have a sliver of health. And right here, I'm really just trying to consider what to do. I ended up going with the mass assist, just ensuring that we do get the kill on Stormtrooper, and you're going to see it ended up working in our favor because we just one shot Moff Gideon, Moff Tarkin, and Maul. And then it leaves us a Lord Vader by himself, and I'm like, please don't kill my Fennec this time. We managed to get by it last round without Fennec, but we did have Bosk. If they kill our Fennec, it's a wrap. So he ends up going for my BAM, which I was really happy about. I decided to avoid the Annihilate and just call in Fennec for the assist, and it ends up working pretty good in our favor. So we ended up with 67 there. Not the best banners in the world, but hey, non-GL counter, one shot against the DL, I'll take that all day. All right, right here, we ended up going with the Empire Squad EP lead with Mara, Vader, Thrawn, and Royal Guard. And you're going to see we outspeeded them. Super hardcore. Their Kyle Katarn did not take a turn, so you're going to see the whole team doesn't take a turn. One thing, if you guys are placing this team on defense, make sure your Kyle Katarn is pretty fast, especially faster than their Vader. Because if not, you're going to leave yourself open to counters like this. And this is going to be max banners and with minimal effort right there. So 65. All right, and this one, I really considered this one for a while. I was kind of scared. So I ended up taking my leftover resistance with JTR, the vets against his Dash Squad. Normally, I don't think I would have ever did this, but the only thing that kind of gave me some confidence was actually the Galactic Challenge, which I kind of practiced a little bit in there. And then at the same time, the whole team was G12 except for Dash Rendar. So I knew I had to go in there, control L3, which JTR was going to be able to do that, and then go straight after Vandor. And you're going to see Vet Han, man, underrated character. I've been saying this for a long time. His kit is one of the best kits in the game. And we get a 60 on a team that I would have had to heavily invest in. And we ended up kind of doing a little budget squad right there. All right, right here, I decided to go with Iden. The only reason I went with this, and I know Traya is a counter to Iden, but the thing is, defense is different than offense because you're going against an AI. And at the same time, I was like, I've seen Traya fail to Iden as well. So I knew if I was taking it on offense, I had a pretty good chance. And you're going to see that we managed to control them pretty good. The one thing I was scared throughout this fight was a Nihilist going off and annihilating somebody, aka Stormtrooper, because Stormtrooper had the taunt. And you're going to see he gets really close. He reduces our cooldowns. I'm like, oh my gosh, just please give us a turn before he takes one. But man, gotta say, Magma Trooper in the squad came out really clutch. I forgot which one did the death mark, so I was trying to pull that up. And then we got death mark on Nihilus and took him out. I was really happy about this one. We didn't come out with clean banners, but hey, a win's a win, and especially in a fight like this where it's going to be a drag out, knockout fight, I'll take a 61. And that's what we ended up getting. All right, in the next fight, we go against troopers against Darth Revan. So I'm really I'm not gonna lie, after the first battle of this season, I'm kind of shook on my troopers against Darth Revan, but I really reassured myself taking a look at their Bastila. So you're gonna see that we did manage to take out Bastila first, and then that starts our TM train. So now I'm just trying to kind of like buy my time, wait for Beers to take a turn, and then we're just gonna go all in on Malik. Malik was only at R5. I really thought we had a chance to really take him out, and you're gonna see we did end up taking him out, which was really nice. Now I'm going to go in there and try to take out the rest of the squad. The only bad part was they did have their talent at relics, so it was kind of difficult for me to get the one clean shot on him just because the revive. And you're going to see we end up losing 2 characters, which kind of sucks, but once Revan's out of the picture, this fight becomes so much more easier, and then we're able to take out the Marauder followed by Talon and get our 55. Tough banners, really sucky, but what are you gonna do? All right, and then after that, we ended up clearing the top. We saw what was in the back. We knew that there wasn't anything really expensive back there, so I ended up deciding to take my C on the Ray and save my JML for one of these other squads. And this one I felt really comfortable because the Ray, yes, it was an offensive Ray. You're gonna see that she does take some pretty nasty hits on my C, but my C is pretty beefy. And then at the same time, it was really cool because there was no JTR. JTR is definitely a problem. It makes the Ray team a little anti-C, but you can still get past it. But because of no JTR, you're gonna see I had more flexibility and more freedom in this counter to go really take our time trying to maximize our banners. And that's what we end up doing. We get into our ultimate. I let her go off. You're gonna see she gets me pretty close. She doesn't get me into the yellow, but I'm still stacking up that health too. And then we're slowly just kind of whittling down this team, going one by one, trying to keep that shock onto Ray so she doesn't get the health, she doesn't do her whirlwinds, and easy fight. Easy peasy. And right there, I was really disappointed that we didn't take her out right there, but the big hit takes all 3 of them out. We end up with 64, so 1 off of max if we would have went in there with 5 characters. All right, right here, I was really surprised, and this seems like it's a little trend lately. People have been beefing up their speed on their freaking Cam and their Qui-Gon, actually outspeeding my Revan, which is not the most fastest Revan out there, but it's pretty fast. And you're gonna see they exhaust Savior. And we're still able to get the win. We kill Qui-Gon with the 1 shot after the Hoda gives Master's Training, and then we go full throttle onto JKA while the other ones are stunned. And then right here, I'm just trying to make sure that I try to kill these guys and keep some of my banners. That's the one bad thing. If you can't control them, they will chew your banners up or even kill you. Because Qui-Gon, even without Anakin, or Cam, can be a really problem. And then after that, easy win. We ended up with 65. Everybody had max protection. I was really excited about that, especially if it makes up for that those other fights a little bit earlier. All right, in this one, I decided to just go in there with my Qui-Gon of my own against their BAM, and you're gonna see, man, having Ki-Adi-Mundi in there really just spices things up. I do the AoE off the rip and just knock off most of the squad. So really excited about that one, 63. All right, so the next fight, I decided to get in there and... All right, so the next fight, this one was really interesting as well because this is gonna be the first time I use Wampa against Newt. We used GG last time, we did Newt this one. I was a little bit concerned with Dooku and then with Droidica in there being relicked, but man, Wampa is a real monster. I might be putting out a video later, I don't know, talking about some Wampa stuff and stuff that I've been hearing that he's been countering, aka Gas, aka Qui-Gon Omicron, possibly. I have to see if I can try to get some videos and if the homie will let me use them, but man, if it's true, it's gonna be a game changer. All right, so I did have JML, the GL left, so I was like, you know what am I gonna use it on? They ended up placing EP down, so I was like, you know what, we're just gonna use it there and try to take them out. But Man, Mara is a problem, especially with EP. They did strip us with some banners, and you're gonna see even my Joe Lee got pretty low. And I know these guys are used as an off meta counter to JML, but still, even with me controlling them, they did pretty decently. So that may be something I look into in the future if I have to ever face a JML on defense. But we ended up with 63. Decent banners, not the best in the world. All right, and we did get a raid, so appreciate it, Master, for that one. But right here, you're gonna see that we ended up with Bam against First Order, and I just love using Bam on offense. He's one of my favorite characters on offense because you're gonna see it right here, especially with Cyanojango. He gets a bad name, but look how fast he takes turns. He gets a lot of TM based on his second special, and he also just builds up the stacks on Bam pretty ridiculously. So right now he's at 20 stacks. I'm waiting for him to take a turn, trying to see if we can get a stun on Crew, because I don't want him to take a turn and get a stun off somebody. And I'm really taking my sweet time in this fight. So he gets the stun there. I ended up just trying to go for the AoE, building up those stacks, because I'm to be honest, I only use the second special, the big AoE, and then the basic on Cyanojango, and that big hit. So there goes 3 characters off the First Order. Absolute monster. And I'm really trying to get Crew into just health, because I can use the basic on Boba, and Boba's gonna hit him really hard. And I'm taking my sweet time. I don't know why. This should be a wrap. No quill action at all. I'm really debating right here. Basic or special? And I don't even know what I ended up doing. We did the AoE right there. We brought him down into just health, and I'm just waiting. I want to hit him with the big hit, and boom, 16k for 5 hits, and we get a 65. That's a great thing about Bam too. Nice recovery. All right, and right here, we did open up ships for the first time. Last fight, we didn't get to open up ships, and they ended up setting us with an executor, or not executor, a finalizer, a Hodo fleet, and an Empire. I wanted to go in there with a couple of different options. I decided to go with the mirror match of the finalizer versus finalizer, and honestly, this one was really sketchy. Thank goodness for me having the tank off the bench. If the Echelon was not on the bench, I definitely think this could have went really bad for us. And really scary is that the stealth was on to the silencer. Silencer was the #1 target, but we weren't able to pulse the silencer to its death in the beginning of the battle, and you're gonna see he lets off a couple nasty hits. I only ended up taking 2 reinforcements. Thank goodness my opponent only took 2 reinforcements as well, and we ended up taking the silencer out. And then once the silencer is out of that matchup, this fight becomes so much easier. I was really excited about that. And then there we go. So now it's just a matter of just kind of cleaning these guys up, making sure that they don't take out any of our other ships, and they are just stealing our banners right now. But you're gonna see, it was really weird about these fleet battles. I ended up with pretty good banners, even though I felt really bad. I felt like I shouldn't have had the banners that I got. And there you go. So we get 65, and you know what? I'll take a 65 all day, especially against a mirror match like that we ended up losing a couple of ships. All right, and then in this fight, we go against the Empire. We ended up deciding to use the mirror match as well. And this one, you're gonna see, I'm gonna give you a little bit of spoilers, does not have the same results as the first match. Right here, I'm really debating on which reinforcement to bring out first. I ended up deciding to use the TIE Interceptor, the prototype, because it was the first time me using it. I'm really excited about the ship. It's one of the ships that I'm trying to build up the pilot a little bit more, get her to G13. G13 is the goal, but G11 in the meantime before I don't have her start up. And you're gonna see, I don't know what I know. Let me be honest. I don't know what I'm really doing on ships. That's something that I really have to focus on, is trying to get better at ships. I feel like I was in a position to really just take these guys out, but it was just tough. Their interceptor goes down. I ended up taking their bomber. Vader was almost down. I honestly think right there is a misplay by me. I ended up taking the other tank. I probably should have went in there with the EP shuttle. Vader would have got a little bit of a health boost, and would have been able to take that hit right there. And Vader was the main damage source of this team. And you're gonna see that big hit from Chimera, the Thrawn ship. I can never say his fleet. Really jacked us up because I eliminated 2 ships, and one of those being TIE Fighter, which is our main damage source once Vader was out. And then I gotta say, Tarkin's freaking ship, that ultimate is hot garbage. I really do not like it at all. That's one thing that I really want to address in my my roster, is to bring up the Chimera and get it serviceable so I can stop using Tarkin. Tarkin's trash. I'm sorry, but that ultimate, it just makes me mad every time it comes out. They have to be in the yellow for it to be effective, which is horrible. All right, and you're going to see that we ended up taking Rebels against Hodo, and this is where the pressure kind of builds up because I have to get this fight to be able to clear the board. So I only have Hodo's ship available after using Rebels. So I'm a little bit stressed out. I ended up going for their Falcon first. We did take it out, but they still are packing a punch. Really right here, I'm just trying to be as consistent as possible. And big shout out to my Y-Wing, Rebel Y-Wing with the clutch right there, taking all the damage in the world, but at the same time being able to stay up for us and really do his job. And thank goodness for Wedge too. I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to take him into this fight or save him for the Hodo fight, and I decided to take him in. He gets the buff immunity, and it becomes an easy pickings after that. One more ship on the board, we got a 70. I was really happy that we ended up with a 70 right there, and I'm feeling good at this point. And this is something that we talked about a little bit in the previous videos that I've done, especially talking about my philosophy when it comes to the new fleet system in GAC, where the heavy defense is really nice. Because if your opponent does what my opponent did right here, instead of lighter defense, and yes, it's not super light because the Empire fleet is pretty tough, but the Hodo fleet is pretty whatever. Finalizer is pretty nice, but not the best team on defense. You're opening up for me to get a full clear and really devastate you on the offensive end. Right here, we ended up with the cleanup. I decided not to take out any of the other characters, even though I did put them in the reinforcement spot, and it worked out pretty good for us. Big hits all the way. Falcon finished it off, and we ended up with a 51. So I'm excited about that even too. 51 on a cleanup, not that bad. And then our final score. So we ended up with 1,794. So really good score for us. That's probably the highest I've scored in I don't know how long. It's been a couple seasons. I've been Mr. Low 1,600 around there, fighting a real nasty type of game. But this time we were able to get the full clear, and you're going to see the final results right here. My opponent struggled big time. So we ended up with the full clear. And right here, he was only able to clear that bottom zone. So really excited about that. And right here, you're going to see that he one-shot my bottom zone, which was really nice. Up top, he didn't even attack. And then down below, which was my favorite part, 5 attacks on my SLKR, and he left him standing. And then you got Dash Rendar with the 2 attacks with Han and Chewie in there. That team has been really nice for me, and I'm excited to keep this going. Next match, I'm telling you guys got to be there. Link is going to be down below for my Twitch. We're fighting an 11 million GP account, and I'm not saying anything, but I think we got a chance. So I definitely recommend you guys check me out there. It should be a fun time. I need all the support I can get. This is going to be Rocky Balboa against Drago right here. This man's looking at me like 7.2 to my 11 million GP. I'm about to break you. And you know what? We're going to try to prove him wrong. But all right, guys, this is gonna be it. This for my recap. It's a little bit late over here, so I have to kind of wrap it up. But all right, guys, have a good one. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, and peace.
Bye, Felicia.